can now proceed. So to begin with,
Yes,
I wanted
please
to,
proceed.
Yes, it is.
yes, to begin with, I just wanted to make a comment on job applications. Um, Everything to do with getting an opportunity, either in hotel industry or any other industry, depends with how you present yourself through a written document that um, will basically be able to tell the person, the third party or the second party, more about you before you basically present yourself as an individual. And I wanted to take us through what is meant by job application. Job application, more often than not, also known as the cover letter, is basically sent uh, with the resume during the job application process. That in itself is a rule of thumb that whenever an application is required, whenever an opportunity um, as presented itself, it will be required of any candidate that is requires an opportunity to basically send the resume and the application letter, which is sometimes known as the cover letter. Now, you'll realize that the resume outlines your professional skills and experience, and especially that is what the recruiter expects of any candidate. Uh, your resume should basically outline your professional skills and experience. A letter, on the other hand, adds more personality to your application by providing more details on your background. Now,
William, I don't know
what is
whether
job
William you can
application?
put
Job
it.
application.
Excuse me, William. Can you be able to put it on presentation mode?
Yes.
Just click on slideshow up there. Slideshow
Uh-huh.
menu, and then you say presentation, so that it is a little clearer.
Oh, okay.
After animation,
Slideshow.
slideshow up there.
Are you able to see it? Are you able to see what I'm doing?
In the menu, in the
In the
menu,
menu.
yeah, up there. In the where there is
I can't
file,
see it.
home, insert. Okay. In the menu where you have file,
Are you able to see my
file.
cursor?
No, I'm not able to see your cursor.
Uh,
Yeah, I just wanted you to put it on slideshow so that it's full screen. You see where we have file home in the menu up in the
presentation there.
yes,
Is it okay there?
yes, it's okay now. Thank you.
It is okay.
Yes, yes, it's okay.
Very well. So I wanted to make a definition of what a job application is, which I know and I can believe that all of us knows what a job application is. And basically, a job application is a self-sufficient or a standalone document presented to a potential employer by a potential candidate, expressing their interest for a given opportunity or a position. That is basically what a job application is. It basically means that whenever an opportunity arises from any industry, and to be more specific in our own industry here, hotel industry, then it will be required from a potential candidate to present this particular document as a standalone to summarize an individual's experience and professional um, uh, education on why they think they are the best fit for a given opportunity. A job application highlights an individual's achievement and skills, and it helps to get the attention of the hiring manager. It is important as well to note that when this particular document is written well, then the recruiter on the other end will have an easy time perusing through the document and will have an easy time to make a decision whether the candidate is the best fit or not. Um, you'll also realize that the job application also impresses a potential employer. This basically means that when at the point that you are sending your job application, the employer, the potential employer, is only able to distinguish you from the other individuals or other potential candidates based on how you have actually been able to present yourself through writing. And this basically goes before you are shortlisted for the interview. What this particular document distinguishes you from the other candidates, depending on how you have actually been able to present it. While writing a job application, it is always advised that you get familiar with the company which you are applying the job to. And while again you are applying for the job application, you also need to show the potential employer that you know what you know their company or their industry, and you are able to link your professional experience and educational background with the kind of candidates that they are looking for. Now, we have a few tips in ensuring that your job application is standard and can be able to capture the attention of the possible employer. Now you need to emphasize your skills and abilities because that is what the employer is interested in. Now, once an opportunity comes up, the employers always indicates the kind of skills and the abilities that they are looking for. Now, it is at this particular point that you as a candidate need to basically be able to point out these abilities and skills on the document or on the advert that you can be able to link with. Then you need to stay concise. This basically means that when you're writing your job application, you don't need to do a 2-page, 3-page document as a cover letter. More often than not, and nowadays, employers get a number of um, applicants, and so done, when you have done a long letter or a longer cover letter, the employer will not have much time to go through all that. Then you need to, as a potential candidate, you need to stay conscious. You need to explain yourself very well on the document and also be able to indicate your experience and the skills that is required by the candidate. All the candidates require, the potential candidates who are looking at applying for any opportunity should be able to know that a brief letter is more manageable and appealing. Um, it is always advisable that at the point of view of a candidate writing a letter, then they should make sure that the letter does not have any grammatical or spelling errors. This will avoid a potential negative impression. Now, the proofreading. It is important that the candidate take time in applying for the jobs. And I always encourage candidates and my friends, for that sake, that whenever they are applying for a job, then they need to spend at least 3 hours. At least 3 hours. That basically means that when a job has been advertised today, then you need to go through it, do your application later today. Don't send it today. Go through it tomorrow in the morning for you really to get rid of the potential errors and the grammatical mistakes that may be able to be accompanied by the same. Now you are required as the candidate, the potential candidate, to review your job listing keywords because these particular keywords are present in um, the the advert. So basically, what I normally encourage is that at the point when a job has been advertised, I encourage the candidates to print their CVs and the advert and match, get to know what the keywords of the uh, job advert is all about and what they possess as abilities and skills. And then you write your letter taking into account what the keywords of the adverts are. Another tip is that candidates are encouraged to send a letter for every position to which they apply. For example, you may find an organization recruiting for more than one position. Now, it is encouraged that you send, if you are interested to apply for one or two positions, then it is encouraged that you send an application for each and every position. Now, this is the most important points for me and the section for me that I will ask every candidate that is present here to take note of. Now, these are the steps which help to make an appealing job application. Number one, use a professional format. The job application letter should be just more than a thank you note or an email to a coworker or a friend. The document should be aligned as follows. At least single spacing is required, an inch margin and left alignment. Alignment is very important. More often than not, candidates and the fresh candidates who are from colleges don't take much attention as far as alignments are concerned. They just type and then have the cover letter like that without having it aligned very well and professionally. Then it is also always encouraged to use a professional and traditional font, which is always the Time New Romance, and the size should range from 10 to 12 points. We talked about the conciseness of the job application or the cover letter. And at least the candidates should ensure that they summarize their experience and education and abilities and skills in one page, which is attractive, which is captivating to the person who is actually doing the recruitment. Um, it is also important to note that when hiring managers review your job application letters, they will get their first impression of you as a potential employee. So take time to format it professionally and keep it concise. I want to repeat that it is important for potential candidates applying for any opportunity to take time and format their documents professionally because the recruiter will only take you serious after having known how you have presented yourself with the cover letter that you have actually been able to present. You need to create the heading. You need to indicate when, for example, you're applying an online job. And I wanted to reiterate this, that nowadays, most job applications, 98% of them are online. That is the digital uh, error. Most of them are 98%. And more often than not, you'll be required to indicate the on the subject, you'll be required to indicate the position or the reference of that particular job. So creating that is very important. Now address the letter to the hiring manager if you're not very sure who the name of the hiring manager is. And it is always important and encouraged to address the hiring manager as after writing to the hiring manager, then you do dear sir, madam, because you're not very sure of the person you're addressing the letter to. Review about the company and position. Of course, you are not going to apply for a job which you don't know the company you're applying for. This particular point is very important because more often than not, you'll be asked about the company you're applying for in an interview if you really know about the company. A question may emerge from the panelist on how much you know the company. So it is important at this particular point when you're writing the letter to ensure that you have each and every information of the company you're applying the job for in advance so that you are able to really match your skills with the expectations of the company. Now you need to open the letter by describing your interest. Now in the first paragraph of the letter, you need to mention the title for which you are applying for and where you saw the position posted. It is important, and I'm going to repeat, that in describing your interest, and again, if it is an online job application, then at the top, at the subject, you need to indicate the position and or the reference number of that particular opening. Very important. You need to briefly state the main experience or qualification you have that makes you a good fit. Of course, whenever you are applying for a job, you need to outstand. You need to basically show the potential employer or recruiter that you are the best person or you are the best fit for that particular opportunity. So take more time to describe yourself and describe your interest, which will go in line with the expectations of the company you're applying the job for. You need to outline your experience and qualifications, very important. Your experience and qualifications. And again, this experience and qualifications should go in tandem with what the company requires. And more often than not, the advert always shows the kind of the people they want in terms of experience and qualification. So before you apply for any job, ensure that your CV matches what your employer or what the potential employer or recruiter expects. You need to include aspects of your personality. Consider how you can incorporate aspects of your personality while remaining professional. I don't know whether I am very fast. Peter, are you there?
No, you're okay. You're okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Now, it's important to understand that a friendly and engaging letter is likely to appeal to the reader, especially when they can get an idea of how well you might fit with the team. Now, make your letter very engaging. Write the cover letter as if you are engaging a potential recruiter face to face, so that you can be able to sell yourself. Because the cover letter sells you before you physically meet the recruiter. So that is the first opportunity of you getting that particular uh, opportunity of getting employed. The first opportunity is you are being given the opportunity to sell yourself. And the best way to sell yourself is through this particular cover letter. Because this particular cover letter is a summary of your resume. So at this particular point, you need to take more time on basically selling yourself, on talking about what you can be able to do to the company that you are applying the job at. As you go to the end of of the cover letter, you need to express appreciation. It is important. It is important to know that whenever an opportunity arises, um, the company the company receives more than the expected number of applications. And so it is important for you to really thank them, appreciate them for taking their time to go through your document. That will basically attract the attention of the potential recruiter, because it will sound to them like, yes, this fellow has sent, I sent their application letters, and it is they are cognizant of the fact that we are also working on this other end, handling a number of applications. Now you need to close the letter at the end of it all. As you close the letter, the final line of the letter should be your name. Should be your name. What that basically means is that once you have written the body of the letter, as you come to close the letter, there is a section for you now finishing the letter. There is yours sincerely, and then you write your name. Now, in between yours sincerely and your name should be, you should be able to have your the signature if it is a hard copy. But if you are applying online, if you don't have the e-signature, then you can just write the yours sincerely, and then you write your name down there. Now, when you are emailing a job application, it is also important to consider subject line. This is what I spoke about the other time. Subject line is very important because you need to follow instruction. You need to follow instruction. Actually, as I finish, I want to let you know, the potential candidates, that in any opportunity, you are required to first follow instruction. You need to apply for the job as per the requirements of the recruiters. Number one. Number two, the rule of the thumb: attach the cover letter and the CV. I have been previously asked by a few candidates on whether to attach the Word MS Word documents or the PDF documents, but I always encourage them to attach the MS Word document, because one, the PDF document may not be compatible with the system that the employer wants them to apply with. But then this also comes as an instruction from the potential employer or recruiter. They'll always tell you to attach the MS Word or the PDF document. Number three is that the time of application. It is important that a job should be applied for immediately it is advertised. The reason is some employers or some potential recruiters begin the shortlisting almost immediately after doing the adverts. But you'll find yourself, if you get the advert and wait to apply later, then you may lose the opportunity because you have taken long to apply. Um, I think that is what I wanted to present today. And if there is any question, then I can take at least one before I leave.